So I really wasn't expecting to record a video on Christmas Eve at 10 p.m., but I also wasn't really expecting the Mariners to give me a reason to record something on Christmas Eve at 10 p.m. But they did that. The Mariners have signed Mitch Garver to a multi-year contract, 2 years, $24 million, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan. That, of course, is pending physical. Everything is pending physical. Life is pending physical, if you really think about it. We'll talk about it. I like this signing. There are some small reasons for concern, but overall, I like this signing. And I also really like Simply Seattle, who provides the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome deals on the Kraken, the Seahawks, the Storm, the Mariners, the Huskies, Cougars. You can find it all. Enter code MOLLYWOP15 once you do find it all, and you can save 15% off your order. There's a link in the description to make it nice and easy. Click the link, copy the code, type it in at checkout. Awesome deal. Thank you so much, simplyseattle.com. So Mitch Garver, in 87 games for the Texas Rangers, the world champion Texas Rangers, appeared in those 87 games, 344 plate appearances. He hit 270 with a 370 on base percentage, 500 slugging percentage, 19 homers, drove in 50 runs. Just pointing it out. Didn't steal a base. Should not expect many. There's your first talking point. Do not expect a lot of stolen bases from Mitch Garver. That's an OPS plus of 134. For his career, 252, 342, 483, 82 homers in 450 games and 1,629 plate appearances, OPS plus career of 123. I like this. Some people are going to be upset because it's like, other teams are getting Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto, and we're getting Mitch Garver. And look, I'm disappointed too that the Mariners didn't get those guys. The two aren't really correlated. I suppose they're a bit correlated because Shohei Ohtani would be your designated hitter, and I think Mitch Garver is going to be your designated hitter for the most part. But, just because you didn't get those guys doesn't make this signing bad. Have a lot of work to do, though. We'll talk about it. Mitch Garver can hit. Mitch Garver has been a successful offensive player when he's on the field. In 2019, this guy looked like he was on his way to becoming like a star. He had a 995 OPS and he hit 31 homers in just 93 games. Now, he hasn't really followed it up with anything close to that. There's been some good years, though, like 2021, 875 OPS. 2023, like we said, 870 OPS. His 511 OPS in 2020, I don't really take seriously. It was 81 plate appearances in a year that, let's just forget about it. Let's just forget about it. But if you look at the metrics, it really backs up that Mitch Garver is a darn good offensive player. Last year, we have a bunch of stuff in the high red, and we want stuff in the high red, or the bright red, I guess is what we should say. Expected weighted on base average of 365. That ranks in the 89th percentile of hitters. Expected slugging of 493. That ranks in the 87th percentile of hitters. Barreled the baseball 12.6% of time, 83% of hitters. And here's your elite stuff. Walk rate, 12.8, 90th percentile, and chase rate, 98th percentile. 17.4% of the time, he swung at pitches outside of the strike zone, meaning that of 6 pitches that he saw outside of the zone, 5 times he took. That's really good. That is very, very good. And nothing here is terrible. Strikeout percentage of 36 when you consider how many pitches he takes, pretty darn good. Whiff percentage, 23.7, that'll work. It's not elite, but in the 59th percentile, and for a power hitter like Garver, I will take that number. Hard hit percentage, 42%. Not elite, but in the 57th percentile, I will take 2 out of 5 times making hard contact. Sweet spot, 35.5. He can get that barrel to the baseball. There is a lot to like about Mitch Garver offensively, and he is a guy that you kind of automatically assume is a platoon type split guy. And you're not wrong. He is better against lefties. He's not bad against righties. For instance, last year, as we pull up those numbers and hit an awkward pause, is 344, 500 on base percentage. I know it's only 84 plate appearances. That's still incredible. 438 slugging percentage. He actually slugged better against right-handers, and he hit 250, 328, 517. It's not superb. In fact, it's interesting to see that he didn't hit a single home run against lefties. I would bet your bottom dollar that is not true again in 2024. All 19 homers coming against righties. I guarantee you that, he hits 5 doubles. Those doubles will turn into homers, or excuse me, 6 doubles. Those doubles will turn into 6 doubles turns into 3 homers, and just add another 6 for S and Gs. There's very little doubt in my mind that he's going to slug just fine against southpaws, because he's done it for most of his career. So he has been better against lefties, but he's not abhorrent against right-handers. Mitch Garver can hit. And you know what I really love about this signing? It's something. It's something you don't have to do mental gymnastics with. It's something that if you're debating with your friend whether or not Mitch Garver is good, you don't have to go, well, and if you look at this and this and this, you really don't have to do that. The offensive numbers are there. He has been a productive hitter. It's also, again, something. And you can say all you want about how, Chris, you don't want to see them just sign guys, do you? You don't just want to see them spend money for the sake of spending money. Ideally, no. But I want to see this team compete. And I want to see this team go out and spend money that they have. It's something. It is not something where you just have to be Mr. Optimist, Mr. Brightside to figure out why this signing makes sense. No, there's no downside to this. Zip zero. The only downside to this is that they have to do more. But this signing doesn't stop them from doing more. And this signing, it'd be very hard for me to not be a fan of this. Let me just tell you the couple reasons, though, why. What's the right term for this? If things don't work out, this is why it's going to be. Mitch Garver has really struggled to stay on the field. In 7 years, he's played in 450 games. Let's take out 2020 and make it 6 years. He's played in 427 games. Still not very good. Now, 2017, he gets a late call-up, okay? 2018, 102 games, 335 plate appearances. Last year was the first time that he had gone over, it is the first time he'd gone over 300 plate appearances since that 2019 season. But he's never had 360 plate appearances. Not once. You look at bats, they're limited because, willing to draw some walks. But that is concerning. Durability is important. I do think being a designated hitter is going to help with that, because I don't see Mitch Garver catching very often for the Seattle Mariners. I think Big Dumper is going to be the guy who handles catching the overwhelming majority of the time. And I think you're going to see Sebi Zavala get a chance to do that. By the way, if Sebi Zavala doesn't make this team, it just makes the Suarez trade. Let's stay positive. I'll give you another number that gives me a smidgen of concern. This one could be just me, but let me pull it. Let's talk about being a designated hitter for just a second, because at first glance, you look at the position and it's it's something everybody can handle, right? It's, you take your bad defensive player who can hit and you make him the DH. And you kind of just assume, hey, full time on offense, he's going to be even better hitting without having to worry about that defensive stuff. It's not always true. And I have talked to players about this that sometimes being a DH is not a lot of fun and it kind of takes you out of the game. They like to be involved. And it especially makes sense for a catcher, right? Somebody who's used to being involved with basically every play. I was looking at the numbers, just, scrolling down, and I noticed that in 108 plate appearances as a catcher last year, Mitch Garver hit. Well, let me tell you this first of all. 28 games as a catcher last year, 1 game as a first baseman, and 57 as a DH. A couple of times as a pinch hitter as well. 7. But 2/3 of his plate appearances are coming as that designated hitter. As a catcher, he appeared in those 28 games, 108 plate appearances, 347, 426, 674. That is an OPS of 1.100. Really good. Really, really, really good. As a designated hitter, they're not bad, but they're down. 234, 346, 421, 11 homers. And so I took a look at that. And I was curious what those numbers would be as for his career, how he did as a designated hitter versus. And what I found was this is not a small sample size of being much better offensively as a catcher than when he's lined up as a DH. In 284 games and just over 1,100 plate appearances as a catcher, Mitch Garver is hitting 267, 351, 518, OPS of 869. As a DH, in a third of the plate appearances, but 446, it's not that small a number. He's hitting 216, 317, 418. It's funny how those numbers go up like that. 216, 317, 418. That's a 735 OPS. 22 homers in 446 plate appearances compared to 61 homers and 1,100 plate appearances. So that's 100 points higher for slugging percentage as a catcher. That is 30 points higher as an on-base percentage, and the batting average, 41 points. I would point to that more as a small enough sample that I'm not going too bizarre over it or too bonkers over it. But it's a little interesting. Not everybody is built to be a designated hitter. And I kind of wonder if Mitch Garver is going to be a better offensive player when he's behind the plate. It wouldn't shock me. There are a lot of examples of players who are much better offensively when they're not in the DH position. Not everybody loves it. Now, Mitch Garver is being signed to be a DH. I think he'll see some time at first base. Yeah, I do think he'll catch some. But I do think it would shock me if he's not here to be the DH. Ryan Davis reported that most of his plate appearances are going to be behind or in the DH position. So I have no reason to believe that he's not. But that's just some food for thought. Long story short, as we're getting to the 15-minute point in this video, I really like this move. I think it is a start. It's not enough. It's not even close to enough. Still need at least 2 more outfielders in my humble estimation. Still need to upgrade at either third or second base. Probably need another starter. Maybe need another reliever. But it's a start. And if Mitch Garver gives you the numbers that he gave you in 2023, this is a very nice pickup. Very nice pickup indeed. I get the concerns. I also get some people who are like, hey, does this mean Cal Raleigh's getting traded? No, I don't think so. But based on everything that's happened, I can't completely blame everybody for jumping to conclusions. But yeah, I like this move. I think I've rambled a little bit here, but I think this is a very solid signing. It's great to see the Mariners use I can't even remember the last time they signed a hitter to a multi-year deal. It's been a while. But I think Mitch Garver is a very solid offensive player. And yeah, I'm glad they're doing something. It's very, very, very funny. It's on Christmas Eve. But they did something. What do you think of the move? Hit like, hit subscribe, then tell me what you think of Mitch Garver joining the Seattle Mariners. Really appreciate the support. Talk again soon. And for those who celebrate, a very Merry Christmas.